feeling some intensity. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's good actually. I feel a clarity. But also the energy is high. The wind has been blowing like crazy. And I feel this build up, this pressure, this real intensity right now. It's I feel like also people feel like pulled in two directions. Like it's summertime. It's summertime, and we should be like enjoying ourselves and feeling free and just enjoying nature and the weather. But it's like shit's going down. I think what I feel is it at times could be kind of paralyzing feeling, like being pulled in more than one direction. But actually what I have been doing is just stopping, just feeling, just meditating, by just being. And fortunately right now I have that luxury. But also when I think about it, I'm like willing to do whatever it takes to be able to have that luxury. I mean, I feel like I'm prepared to walk away from my apartment, my things, whatever, that seems like my need to be able to do that. I don't know. Everything is kind of up in the air as far as sense of security and like what I'm supposed to be doing, or the structures are really dissolving. I feel like the structures are really dissolving, which makes room for something new. And it's not just an easily worn neural pathway. It's not just an easy path. There's some bushwhacking involved. I think that's what I'm noticing with myself is taking the need to take initiative, even when the path is not clear. It's not a forcing. It's like just in not rushing. There's an inkling. There's a little whisper. There's a little, like you're scanning the bush and you see a little like overgrown path or a little rabbit trail or something like that. And you wouldn't have noticed if you were just kind of rushing, but because you stopped and paused, you noticed just this little subtle place to start. And I think that's what it's about. I think it's slowing down enough to get that guidance. And there's a lot of other things trying to like compete for attention. I'm noticing like there's a lot of things going on, and I'm kind of saying no to them. I'm not letting them distract me from myself, from the prioritization of cultivating this relationship with myself and knowing myself and knowing how to stay aligned with myself. And it's funny, it feels like the 11th hour, and I previously had this intuition that that's the way it's going to be. It's not about pre-planning and having things set up and being comfortable about that, right? Because I think that is the paradigm of fear that we're moving out of, or I'm moving out of, where you save your money for a rainy day. You prepare for bad times or whatever. And I think that there's a kind of shortage consciousness or something in that. If there's preparation that happens, it will just be in the moment that you're getting that inspiration. Like, you don't need to have savings in the bank as long as you have, there's always flow, right? It's the fear that the flow will stop, that you have to have this like cushion. And it's not wrong, obviously, to have a savings account, but to be like, oh, I can't spend my money because I might need it later. Well, later you might be dead. Later you might have missed an opportunity that you could have had now. And that opportunity maybe leads to greater abundance. So I've observed this in some people where they're like, no, I don't want to take a risk. I don't want to invest in something. I don't want to, I'm just going to hold on to my fiat currency. And I think that's pretty foolish, actually, because I have benefited by investment and taking risks. And I mean, in hindsight, there's always like, oh, I could have done that different. I could have done this different. But ultimately, those risks have paid off for me. And I'm also in the taking of the risk, there is a more important thing. There's a more important thing where you're challenging yourself to have faith, to trust that things will work out. And you're not relying on an external thing so much as far as like the bank account or the predictable thing, the safe thing. I don't want to be doing the safe thing, because the safe thing is within everything that's been done before. And what's been done before is old news now, and we're not gonna get ourselves out of this mess that the world is in. And I can even look at my own life and be like, it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. There's, you adapt and you cope, but if I was to, if I had a magic wand and could just instantly create my life, it would be different. It would be different. So there are things that I desire that I don't have. There's things that could be better. I embrace that things aren't ideal, because that's the way to move forward. That's very much the approach that I'm taking, instead of a kind of magical thinking, which has its place. Our imagination is able to bridge some things where we need to take a leap of faith. We don't see the pathway before us. Our imagination can help with that. But yeah, we have to be kind of careful with our imagination, because it can also make imaginary monsters too. I feel like it's my practice and my path in being a warrior, because that's how I see myself. It fits with the Aries archetype. It's just how I felt. Not that I've been like not that I've been like interested in hurting people at all. That's not what I mean by warrior. I mean somebody that faces challenges and difficulties, and not even just on one's own behalf, but for the good of others, for the benefit of others. And being strong, being tough, and that's what I value. That's what I want to be. That's who I am. And learning more and more about what that means. But it means, as I said previously, it means first facing myself. Because if you haven't faced yourself and you don't see your own weaknesses, and your weaknesses can be exploited by your enemy, by whatever force you're coming up against that you want to defeat, that you want to put in a certain place, right? I mean, even if you think like a bad habit, an addiction, something like that, it's a kind of enemy, and you want to defeat it and put it in its place, which maybe is like the past, or I understand now because that was a coping mechanism of belonging or something like that. So you're defeating it, so it has no more power over you, and you're putting it in a place. You're putting it in prison. You're putting it in the dustbin of history. And so this is just kind of this proactive approach, this head-on approach to addressing issues in our lives and conquering them. And maybe ultimately they're all our own shadow. Maybe every single thing that we're fighting against is the projection of ourselves. However, we need to accept that this whole world is a projection of ourselves, and it's a kind of simulation and game where we're acting out these things, we're playing them out. And we can do that in different levels. Understanding metaphysics, and even looking at the world in a symbolic light, we can see the patterns, and we can be smart about the game. And that is using what we're given by God in playing the game, using our intellect, using our minds, which is this kind of outgrowth of the consciousness. The mind is this application of consciousness in this world, and it's our toolkit. It's our armory. we can be cut by our own sword. So we have to wield it carefully. And, the wand is this passion, and it is this drive to live life and to play the game and to engage with it. And not just succumb to these seeming external forces and dissolve into our own wateriness and our own kind of base desires. This is kind of lecture-y so far, isn't it? But the thing is I'm feeling some degree of accomplishment in facing myself, and I'm getting some clarity and traction. What I wanted. There's some achievement. It's certainly not done, and I'm not going to rest on my laurels. I'm not going to stop. But I think I'm observing the tone has changed for me a bit in what I'm bringing to this. And it's still for me. It's still for me. It's not for anyone's entertainment. An area that is kind of tender is the loneliness, is the desire for partnership. Like, that's so tender, that's so hurt that I almost I just might have a tendency to gloss over it. Like, I really want to have a partnership. I really want to have a romantic partnership. And I could be having sex right now. There's several people that would like to do that with me that I find attractive. But I don't really want to mix my energy with somebody that's just going to go off and just kind of use me and then go. Because I always get attached. Always, because I go deep with it. I feel it deeply. And I bring my heart into it, and because that's what I want to do. So I've said no to these guys. And because I'm holding out for somebody else that I want to have a partnership with. And I know probably right now it's going to take a little more time of me healing some of my stuff before I think that just fully manifests. I mean, I think the time could be short if I have the realization, if I do the work, and just recognize that how much I'm projecting, perhaps, putting my power into somebody else's hands, being conditional about feeling certain feelings, and I have been working through this. I have been tapping into those energies that I think that I will feel when I'm with somebody, but feeling them just being with myself. And I can do that. It's not complete. I'm not sure it's supposed to be complete. Otherwise, then I wouldn't have any partnerships. I wouldn't want any partnerships. I just isolate. I think. I don't know. I don't know what that would look like without desire for someone else. Just be totally in my own company and be happy with that. I don't think that's going to happen in this life, because I really do want the experience of committing to somebody. I've had some relationships and I've learned from them. I'm not satisfied with those ones. There was dissatisfying elements of it and I think I've grown a lot since my last one. A ton. I've grown a ton since the last one that ended in the end of 2019. Because we went through a whole craziness since, and I really did too. So I've grown a huge amount in that time. I am much, much wiser. And I want to see what that looks like in a romantic, committed relationship. And I think it could be good. I think it could be good, and I think it will feel so nice to feel that goodness and enjoy that other person and enjoy contributing to their lives and feeling cared for, feeling loved and by another person. Yes, I can cultivate love for myself, but I think there is something really beautiful in having relationship that you can count on, that you can relax into, that you can trust, that has some solidity and groundedness, perhaps. I don't know. I haven't had that. I mean, I haven't had that ideal relationship in my life. So I can only kind of guess what it looks and feels like. And I'd like to have that experience before I die. I gotta hook one before I'm too old and ugly. Yeah. Gotta work on my charm, I guess. Gotta work on my charisma and personality. Okay. I don't think this was especially revealing, but I'm feeling anxiousness. I'm feeling amped up. I'm feeling like this wind is kind of getting to me. It's like I feel like I need to pack my bags and get out of town or something like that. Like, but to where? Everywhere. That's everywhere. I know everywhere has the same energy. The whole freaking world is going through the same kind of energy of turbulence and being stirred up. And I mean, it's exciting, but it's also a bit nerve-wracking. It's also a bit restless. And so I think I'll go to the river, chill out in nature. Okay, bye.